Good morning, Run Talks. Jay here. Just come back from the gym. Look at that weather. Ugh, Javi. So today I want to talk to you about the fact that you don't have business problems. One of my sayings or quotes I always like to say is, you don't have business problems, you have personal problems overflowing into your business. Now, let's just think about it for a second. Some of the major challenges that people face in business, what are they? And I'm sure if you're a business owner, you could reel these off for me. These are things like, I never have enough time. These are things like, I either don't have enough clients or how do I scale my business? These are things like, I can never hire the right types of people. These are things like, why won't everything work the way it's meant to? How can I make decisions faster? These are some of the questions or maybe problems or challenges business owners face. Where's my next source of income gonna come from? Am I going to be a business and function in 6, 12, 18 months, 3 years, 5 years time? These are just some of the stuff that come up for people. Now, when you think about that, when you think about how can I make decisions faster, how can I recruit the right types of quality people into my business, how can I scale the business, how can I, you can start to see where I'm going with this. There's a common denominator there. Now, if you're the person that's running your business, if you're the person that's in charge of your business, then the success of your business, to a degree, depending on whether you have a team, depending on what processes you have in place, is going to largely depend on some of maybe the decisions you make, the way you lead yourself, the way you conduct yourself day to day. True or false? Tell me if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, challenge me. And I welcome that, by the way. I'm not egotistical enough to say that mine is the only opinion and everything I say is right. In fact, I encourage you to challenge that and to think for yourself. So as we think about this, and we think about you being in the driving seat, you being in control, we have to think about what is at the root cause of the success in the business. Now, you can look at marketing, you can look at strategy, you can certainly look at those areas, and those areas are really important. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Sam. You can look at all those areas, but you have to really consider what resulted in you starting a business. Think about it. It was some kind of decision that you made. You made a decision. You were the cause and there was the effect. There's the law of cause and effect. Everything has a cause, and every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. And that is the result of some kind of decision that you actually made. You, based on your preferences, your values, what you wanted out of life. Maybe you were moving away from pain, you were unhappy in your situation. You caused a business to be created in some respect. In the same way that you are the cause of whatever's showing up for you in life. And life is presenting you with what we call feedback. And those feedback that you're receiving are just the results you're receiving right now. And those results you're receiving right now might be that right now you don't have the right people in your business. Right now you are going solo and you're stressed. Right now you aren't able to scale your business. Right now you're not processing and making decisions fast enough. Whatever is coming up for you right now, that is some kind of feedback for you on your results. Now, if we understand this, we understand that the only thing that stands between where we are and where we want to go is the decisions that we make, the choices that we make day to day on whether or not to press ahead and hire that coach, or whether or not to implement strategy A or B, or whether or not to actually hire that person, whether or not we set a goal or not set a goal. The only thing that stands between you and where you want to be is you and your ability to lead yourself. Let's think about this for a second. We make about scientists say we make about 35,000 to 50,000 decisions every single day. Every single day you're making that amount of decisions. You're like, whew, that's a lot. Well, if you think about it, most of those decisions you don't really notice. You make them on autopilot. It's like, what time am I going to get out of bed in the morning? Do I hit the snooze button? Do I not hit the snooze button? What am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to wear today? And so we're constantly making these decisions. And these are relatively easy decisions for us to actually make. But what tends to happen is whenever we're making any kind of decision, there's an emotion involved. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you, mate. It's been a while. Whenever we're making any decision, there's emotion involved, right? If you think about, have you ever been to the supermarket when you're hungry? Try going to the supermarket when you're hungry. It's really bloody challenging. My partner, my wife, goes to the supermarket. And when she's emotional, I know what that trolley is getting filled with. I'm a little bit different. I do get emotional when it comes to food, and food is an emotional decision for me, as is every decision. But what I tend to do is I go to the local Lidl. We have a place called Lidl here in the UK. And they always have the bakery section in on the right-hand side as you walk in. So you walk in and you get smashed by this scent of fresh cakes and the bakery, and it's phenomenal. And you're like, oh, it's desperate. Now I go there with the intention, I'm a bit weird like this. I go there with the intention and I literally get close to the bakery and I just smell it. It's like exposure therapy. I smell it. And I condition myself to not be reactive despite my emotions wanting me to pick up more cakes, pick up more of the Tim Tam. They're not called Tim Tams, those are an Australian like penguin like biscuit. Pick up a lot of the cakes and donuts and everything else. But I don't, because I condition myself to do that. So every decision that we make is emotional. But not every decision has such severe consequences. I have one donut today, it's not going to make a massive difference to me overall. But what if you have to make a decision in your business that could cost you a lot of money? It could cost you your business. How's it going to impact your family? How's it going to impact your customers? The decisions that you make in business quite often in the long run have big consequences. So what immediately happens when there is consequence? There's a risk involved. And when there's risk involved, what's the primary emotion most people actually feel? Fear. Future events appearing real. Or as someone once said to me, fuck everything and run. So when we experience fear, we perceive that something good, something bad might happen to us if we get this decision wrong. Some of you perceive that if you make a decision, that it might actually go right, and that can be a painful thing as well for you, because it might actually mean you have to put yourself out there. It might actually mean that you have to be responsible and take charge. So some of you are making decisions, you're worried about what happened which might be good and making it bad. And some of you are making a decision because you're not making a decision because you're catastrophizing on what might happen. So what happens? We experience emotion, fear. And what happens when we experience fear? We're crippled. Some of us are crippled. Some of you will go bam, straight into it. And don't sit here and say, I don't have any fear, because you're just talking shit. There will be things that scare you. You're just not playing a big enough game. We all have fear. Everybody has fear. Even the top people in the world have fear. It's just how they deal with it. It's how strong their leadership is. So think about this. Some of you have really strong leadership, and when you experience that fear, you lean into it. You see it as a signpost of where you want to go. You lean into it. But some of you will not make the decision. You won't be able to process the decision because you'll either feel stuck, you'll be paralyzed by fear, you will procrastinate, you will avoid, and then what's even better, to add some topping to the cake, some icing on the cake, you will then justify not making a decision with some kind of excuse or some kind of reason. There is nothing stopping you having what you want. There isn't. The only thing that gets in the way, and you know what it is your ability to lead yourself. It's your ability to go from point A to point B, to regulate your emotions, to be able to experience the exposure of the scent of the cake, your eyes like lighting up at the thought of things going, like the pleasure that you're going to be created, but still being able to make a different decision. And I use that as it relates to fear. You'll experience some kind of fear, but feeling the feeling and doing it anyway, instead of avoiding or suppressing and not confronting this. And this is when it comes to self-leadership. And I said yesterday, I'm passionate about helping people to not have me hold their hand and do it for them, because coaching is a done with you approach. It's about me not working with you forever. It's about me being there to help you to see that you have everything you need to move towards where you really want to go, and give you the perspectives and insights to show that you're in charge, that you're in control of your life. Nobody else, nothing outside of you, just simply you. And that's why yesterday I talked to you about my influential leadership project. Again, that offer's still on the table. I'm looking for 10 people who want to be a part of that. Message me if you're interested in finding out more. But we have to really look at, it's not a marketing strategy. It's not anything outside of us. If you're the person in the driving seat of the car who is responsible for creating that change, who's responsible for making that decision, and if this doesn't get some kind of upgrade, if this is the thing that's holding you back and your ego does not want you to admit it, then you're going to experience problems, because you do not have business problems. You have personal leadership problems which are overspilling into your business. So until tomorrow, as always, just remember, just show up. Have an amazing, amazing day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.